We are quite confident of our future because we are very proud of where we come from. I can say that the birth of the ANC itself was a serious achievement by our country because it's this movement that brought us this freedom that we today enjoy. But of course, that freedom did not come easy. Many people died. Many were forced to exile. Many were imprisoned, including our dear departed leader, Datu Matiba. We owe it to them. We owe this freedom to them and many others, Ubabu Tambo, Krisani. But today, as we enjoy our freedom, we have got to deal with the legacy of injustices that visited black people in general and African people in particular. They were segregated and exploited. They were treated like no people in the land of their birth. They were given inferior education, inferior health system. In fact, there are certain jobs that they could not do because they were black and they were not white. Today, all our people can do any job that they want to do. Today, even our own kids can aspire to be doctors, can aspire to be engineers. As an example, in 1996, only 150 black students were there in universities. Today, we have over 750,000. Quite a mammoth achievement. Today, over 16 million people are beneficiaries of government support through social grants, as opposed to only 2.4 million in 1996. Indeed, today many of our people, particularly African people, are proud to be accessing electricity, are proud to be accessing clean water, are proud to be accessing proper sanitation. Of course, there is still a long way to go. All is not yet where we want it to be. That's why we have got this commitment of the next 5 years to build both social and economic infrastructure in the next 5 years so that we continue to do better quality education, to do better quality health, including rolling out the national health insurance, so that all our people, poor or rich, can have access to quality health care. That's why I'm proud to be a member of the ANC, because I know that the future under the ANC is bright and very, very bright and very promising. That's why I'm so confident of the future. Because as we build the economy, we will also be lowering the inflation as we have done over the past 20 years. And therefore we'll be ensuring that all our people have decent employment. Is this full-time employment that we are chasing? In 1996, only 9 million people were employed in South Africa. Today, 14 million are in full-time employment. We are proud of that, but there are many more who are still not employed, who are jobless. That is a challenge that we need to deal with. But we are up to the challenge by building catalyst infrastructure in the area of ICT, in the area of transport, in the sector of water infrastructure, and in the sector of energy. Through these sectors, which are catalyst sectors, we'll then be able to grow the economy and be able to create the necessary jobs. Of course, through our public works program, we'll also be able to make jobs that will be able to sustain people. Some will be of a long-term nature. But indeed, we are confident of our future and we are very proud of our past. May our leaders who fought for our freedom rest in peace, particularly Tata Matiba. In our commitment for the next 5 years, in our manifesto, we make a commitment to build a developmental state. That state will be anchored around the National Development Plan. Over the past 20 years, South Africa did not have an overarching plan, a plan that has elements of education, a plan that has elements of health, a plan that has got elements of social infrastructure, a plan that has got elements of economic infrastructure, but a plan that takes into account that we have got people in our rural areas who need water, who need electricity, but who need credit and who need markets. Indeed, we are proud that we have this plan that is a 20-year plan that will ensure that in the next 20 to 30 years, all of us as South Africans work together to move South Africa forward, anchored by that wonderful plan. That plan will also ensure that we build the necessary skills that we need in our country through the FETs, further education training institutions for our young ones, but secondly, also our state institutions will also be able to train our young ones in the various areas of the labor force that are needed by our economy. So we are quite proud that for the first time as a country, we then have this plan that all of South Africa, by the way, has adopted. It's not an ANC plan per se, but indeed it's a plan that came through our vision, and that plan has been put to all people of South Africa in the Democratic Parliament of South Africa, and all parties in that Democratic Parliament has accepted that plan as their plan. This is the plan that will make South Africa move forward. The plan says we must deal with the notion of corruption. Now, you know, as I know, that corruption in the main, in our governance system, comes through these things we call tender systems. That's why in our commitment for the next 5 years, we are saying that, you know, we have got tender committees in all levels of government, in all municipalities, all over 200 of them. We have tender committees. In fact, in one municipality, you even have many tender committees because each department has got a tender committee. We leave that. You go to provincial governments where you have got 10 departments. Each department has got a tender committee. You go to national government where you have got over 30 departments. Each department has got a tender committee. So it's these many tender committees that creates at times this notion of corruption within the system. That's why we are then saying, let's have one centralized tender board that will be monitored, but also that will have the necessary expertise to adjudicate properly all tenders. And indeed, such adjudication should also be transparent. People should be able to come to a tender board meeting and see the tender board at work and see the tender board adjudicating. But you'll then not have over 300 or 3,000 tender committees all over the place. You'll just have one tender board with its own systems that employs people with the requisite expertise to conduct adjudication. But we are also saying, apart from this expertise will conduct adjudication of tenders, you'll also have an independent monitoring mechanism for that tender board. So that, again, all of us as South Africans should be confident that there is no question of somebody sitting in a tender board deciding before even adjudication where the tender is going. This is what is happening in most instances now in our municipalities and in our departments. But when this process is centralized first, secondly, is made transparent, thirdly, there is independent monitoring of this process, we are quite confident that we'll even be able to get more from our fiscus and from our monies that we pay through our tax.